All right, welcome to this week's meditation. This is going to be a special Labor Day edition. This is Labor Day weekend. And I wanted to begin with talking. I found it helpful to distinguish between intentions and goals. When we make mindfulness a goal, we have, by definition, moved out of the moment. We have created a discrepancy between what we're experiencing now and what we would like to happen. This inevitably leads to tension. We might begin judging our current experience or ourselves as not good enough, unacceptable, or to be got rid of. This judgment can put us off, as the caption of on a cartoon puts it. It says, "I know I've only been practicing for 2 minutes, but meditation is not bringing me the peace of mind I was promised." When we make goals and measure our moments against them, we are virtually guaranteed disappointment. With an intention, there is no required result. We are simply connecting to our chosen course. I'm just going to practice and see what happens. Making mindfulness an intention is different. Intentions are found and refound in the present. So just by making one you have already accomplished what you set out to do. And that's a job well done. An intention cannot fail because it happens right now. With an intention, there is no required result. We are simply connecting to our chosen course. I'm just going to practice and see what happens. Therefore, we invite curiosity, a sense of experimentation. Well, this is interesting. I wonder what's going to happen now. Intention has strength, as it's rooted in reality, but also suppleness. Holding to an intention doesn't mean our actions can't change based on what we discover. Intentions come from inside, whereas goals are external. In connecting to an intention, we don't have to look elsewhere for satisfaction. What we desire is already here as a seed within us. We may need some guidance and training to cultivate that seed, but relief comes when we realize we don't need to try and be something we are not. It's likely that some benefits of mindfulness come just from following a course we trust that will help us, that we actually trust that will help us. In other words, by choosing a practice, we already feel we're on a path to well-being. When we make mindfulness a goal, however, we turn it into a commodity. The benefit's conditional on our having to get it. The implication being that we don't currently have what we need, there is something missing, and we might miss out. This is a recipe for tension. It is true that the traditional goal of practice is to relieve suffering. It is helpful to know this, otherwise we might not be inspired to begin, or know we're off course when we start thinking the goal is something else. Lots of money, for example, or to be better than everyone else at paying attention. But we get in the way when we struggle to attain this goal directly, rather than through creating the conditions for it to happen through grace. It's a bit like trying to fall asleep. It helps if you are ready for bed and turn the lights down, but if you keep trying to drop off, it just won't happen. At some point, you have to trust and let go. If you try to relieve your stress, you will have the experience of trying to relieve your stress. Giving ourselves over to practicing awareness and compassion, opening to it, working with, and learning from what happens as best we can, these are helpful intentions in mindfulness practice. We can let these intentions carry us when it seems like nothing much is happening or we aren't getting what we'd like from our practice. Well-being comes from letting go of struggle. That's the way to reach the goal. And we're all born with a specific set of physical parameters. But if we eat right, take care of ourselves, and work out, we can build muscle, flexibility, and endurance. The same is true for our minds. We can change our brain, boosting concentration, flexibility, and intelligence, and building new neural pathways and networks by working at our brain, particularly with mindfulness and related practices. So let's take a moment right now to try a basic mindfulness meditation for ourselves. Before you begin, adopt a posture that is both comfortable and sustainable for a few minutes, and then we'll continue for the next few minutes here. You can close your eyes. First, bring your awareness to an anchor. That could be the sensations or movement in your body, the breath, ambient sounds, counting, or even an image you found powerful or calming. Anything can be the anchor for your attention. Just invite your mind to rest there. And of course, pretty soon you will notice your mind begin to wander. That is completely normal. Each time you notice it wandering, notice where it goes, and then gently guide your awareness back to your anchor. This is so simple, in fact, that it might seem like you're not doing very much. But don't be fooled. Every aspect of this practice is building the muscles of your mind. In fact, somebody even likes to use the image of his brain getting a little bit bigger with each moment of mindfulness. Every time you focus on or return to the anchor, you're building your concentration. You detach from your thought stream. This is a practice of letting go in the moment, which translates to letting go in the rest of the world. Each time you notice that the mind is wandering, that is the moment of mindfulness, not a moment of failure. Every time you are kind to yourself when your mind wanders, instead of criticizing yourself, you are exercising and strengthening your self-compassion for challenging moments in the rest of your daily life. And every time you notice where the mind is wandering, this is an opportunity for insight into your mind's habits and patterns. This is what we might call wisdom or self-understanding. Now let's practice by, if you're not already, using your breath as the anchor. We can just be with whatever presents itself. Knowing that this moment is already here and that the only sensible thing is to be with it. We can ride the waves of difficulty with dignity and poise, like a good rider on a spirited horse. We can still seek the support we need, make changes we need to make, or let someone know they need to stop hurting us. And in doing so, though, we use the wisdom of mindfulness as our guide, drawing on deep inner resources to negotiate the journey with gentleness and skill. If you find anchoring yourself is too hard at this time, try this method. Try resting. And resting means exactly that. To cease work or movement in order to relax. And that is all. When I'm physically tired after a hard, say like a hard workout, I sit down on like a comfortable chair and rest. And similarly, to rest the mind, all I have to do is sit down and allow my mind to relax. One way to rest the mind is to use an image. And imagine a butterfly resting gently on a flower moving slowly in the breeze. And in the same way, the mind rests gently on the breath. Another way is to use this saying, there is nowhere to go and nothing to do for this one moment except to rest. Resting is an instinct. We all know how to do it. The idea here is to turn resting from an instinct to a skill. And maybe we may find resting is still too difficult for us at this current time. Here's another method, a third method, being. And being means shifting from doing to being. It means not doing anything in particular, just sitting and experiencing the present moment. You can think of it as non-doing or sitting without an agenda, or simply just sitting. The key ingredient of this practice is being in the present moment. As long as your attention is in the present, you're doing it right. Alternatively, and slightly more poetically, you can think of the key ingredient as knowing. As long as you know you're sitting, you're doing it right. Now let's all try to come back to an anchor. For the next minute, gently bring your attention back to your breath if you've noticed that it's wandered, or to your body, or any sensory object that affords the mind some measure of attentional stability. If attention wanders away, gently bring it back. And now let's try to rest the mind. If you like, you can imagine the mind resting on the breath the same way, again, the butterfly rests gently on a flower. Or again, you can say to yourself, there is nowhere to go and nothing to do for this one moment, except to rest. And then shift from doing to being and sitting without an agenda. Just sit and experience the present moment for the duration of the next moment. And the joke in meditation is that we get somewhere by not trying to get anywhere. As soon as we try to get something else or be somewhere else, we move into desire or aversion rather than accepting the reality of how and where we are. This creates trouble. We try to work out how to get calm or get rid of negativity or force insight to come. Bring your attention to the sensations of breath in your belly. Let go of thinking about or analyzing the breath and just feel it. Follow its natural rhythms gently with attention, in and out, rising and falling. Let thoughts, emotions, body sensations, and sounds be as they are. You don't need to follow them or push them away. Just allow them to happen without interference as you direct gentle attention to the breath. And again, when you notice that your mind has wandered, as it likely will often, acknowledge that this has happened with kindness. Remember, as soon as you're aware of the wandering, you have a choice about what to do next. You can bring your attention back to the breath and continue to follow it in and out, moment by moment, with friendly interest. By noticing what's going on in our bodies and minds, we step out of the loop of reactivity. Instead of being like a horseman or we stop trying to grapple our way to steadiness. Now, as we're seated here in our posture, let's imagine ourselves taking the dignified posture of a rider on a steed. Notice what's happening in your body right now, as best as you can. Bring an attitude of kindly interest to your investigation. The intention is not to judge or change or what's happening, but to hear what your horse is saying with attentive respect. Be aware of gut reactions, impulses, and emotions, which signal your intuitive animal relationship with what's going on. Listen to and acknowledge these powerful feelings, knowing that though they are powerful and offer important intuitive information and motivation, also remember they aren't in sole charge of the ride. Bring awareness to the cognitive mind, your thoughts. Let go for now of creating or following ideas. Just observe with a friendly curiosity what's going on in my mind. Notice any thoughts about how your horse is feeling or reacting, any tendency to want to reject, resist, or try to force the experience to be different from how it is. Notice the terrain. Open awareness to the environment around. Notice what can be seen, heard, touched, smelled, and any corresponding sensations in your body and thoughts in your mind. What's it like to be horse riding in this space, this terrain, here and now? And come back to center. Check your posture and state of mind. Is your body still steadfastly in touch with the ground? Upright, not tense? Is your mind present, awake, attentive? If needed, resettle by connecting your attention to the breath in your belly for a time. Now ask yourself, based on what's here in this body, mind, and the world around me, what course would be helpful to take right now? In which direction, toward what or whom shall the onward journey take? Listen to your gut, your heart, your head, and the feedback you receive from the environment and people around you. They can all be factored in to deciding your course, though they may all have different and sometimes apparently conflicting contributions to make. As best you can, let choices come from a place of awareness and response to the whole situation, your inner and outer world.
Stay there, okay? We're just seeing the driving mode.
Recognize that there may be no one right, there may not be one right course to take, and you can re-navigate at any time by checking in again with the rider and horse. Allow yourself to be still, not to make a move. This is what's most needed for the moment.
Oh, but how do you press things?
And as soon as we are aware of thoughts and sensations arising in experience, rather than getting caught up in attempts to grasp or reject them, a glimmer of space emerges between the events of our lives and our reactions to them. Open up your mindfulness to every aspect of conscious experience. For these final moments, sensations, sights, sounds, tastes, smells, and thoughts. Let go into the space within and around you, remaining alert and present to whatever comes. Allow the play of experience to happen by itself, resting in the flow, moment by moment. And of course, when you notice attention wandering to a particular place, acknowledge the wandering and open out to the whole panorama of experience once more. Whenever you're ready, let your eyes open. And notice how you're feeling right now. There's no particular way you should feel. And congratulations on completing another session on the cushion, so to say. I appreciate everybody that's watching these and that tunes in for these. I enjoy this a lot, and making this not only a part of my everyday, but also being able to help others make this part of their everyday as well. So thank you. I appreciate all of you. And again, it's a Labor Day weekend, so enjoy the long weekend for those that have the Monday off as well. So I'll see you next week, next Saturday. Bye-bye.